After a terrible night's sleep, everything suddenly feels that little bit harder. The email from your boss feels that bit more threatening. Traffic annoys you just that little bit more than usual. Somebody's innocent comment now feels that little bit more personal. Maybe you find yourself overthinking things that normally wouldn't even bother you in the slightest. So today I want to explain why bad sleep makes you more anxious. And when you understand what is actually happening inside your brain after a poor night's sleep, I'd be amazed if you don't choose to do something about it. But before we dive in, ask yourself one question. When was the last time you deliberately invested in the person you will be 10 years from now? Because whether you realize it or not, we are investing in that person every single day without exception. The only question is whether we are making good investments or bad ones. So if you are ready to start making better investments in yourself, hit subscribe and come on this journey with me. And if you're going to subscribe, you might as well hit the like button too. So one thing to make clear at the outset today is that your brain does not wake up after a poor night's sleep in the same condition it went to bed. Think of your brain as having two important systems constantly working together. One is your emotional alarm system. Its job is to scan the world looking for danger. The other is your rational thinking system. Its job is to look at that alarm and decide whether the threat is actually real. Okay, so emotional alarm is constantly searching for risks, and rational thinking system is deciding if those threats are real. After a good night's sleep, those two systems work beautifully together. You notice a problem, but your rational brain keeps it in perspective. It's okay, in the grand scheme of things, not a major issue, we'll deal with it, we'll be absolutely fine, no harm done. But after a poor night's sleep, you suffer this incredible double whammy, because your emotional alarm system becomes much more sensitive, which means more and more things are perceived as threats. And whilst that is happening, your rational thinking system simultaneously becomes much less effective at calming down your emotional alarm. It's like having an oversensitive car alarm that goes off every single time a leaf lands on the bonnet of your car, whilst the battery in your car key simultaneously runs out, so you can't turn it off. Suddenly everything feels far more threatening than it really is. A small inconvenience can feel like a major problem. A simple email can feel overwhelming. A minor disagreement can feel much bigger than it actually is. But we need to remember here, the world hasn't become more dangerous. Your brain has simply become less able to regulate its emotional response to what you're faced with. And as well as this, sleep also affects the hormones that flow around your body. Cortisol, which is the stress hormone, tends to remain much higher after a poor night's sleep. And your body does this because it knows that you are under-recovered and you may need this extra cortisol when you enter fight or flight mode. Now that's incredibly useful if you are physically escaping from some kind of spontaneous danger, but it is much less useful when you're simply trying to answer emails or drive to work. So your body basically starts the day in this heightened state of alertness, even if there is no actual real danger around you, and that heightened state makes everyday challenges feel bigger and more urgent and more stressful than they actually are. Now on top of all of that, we have to think about something else. Because you're tired, and because you're under-rested, your brain will start looking for the quickest way to feel better. So sugar becomes a lot more appealing. Things like caffeine become a lot more appealing. And whilst these things may give you temporary relief, like all daily drifts tend to do, they could also make tomorrow night's sleep even worse. And then suddenly you build this horrible cycle. Poor sleep increases anxiety, anxiety encourages behaviours that reduce sleep quality, poorer sleep creates more anxiety, and round and round and round and round we go. And this is exactly why so many people tell me that they feel tired but wired, because their body feels exhausted, but their brain refuses to switch off. They assume they need to fix their anxiety before they can sleep better, but sometimes the exact opposite is true. Better sleep is one of the most effective ways to reduce the very anxiety that is keeping you awake. And a massive mistake people make is trying to think their way out of anxiety whilst completely ignoring the biological foundations underneath it. So of course things like therapy help, of course mindfulness can help, of course journaling can help and exercise can help. But if your brain has been deprived of quality sleep for weeks or months or years on end, it's a bit like trying to drive a car with a flat tyre. You can still make some progress, but you're making life so much harder than it actually needs to be. Which is exactly why I see sleep as one of the most powerful daily wins available to us. Every good night's sleep isn't simply preparing you for tomorrow. It's recalibrating your brain, and it's allowing your emotional alarm system to quieten down and giving your rational mind a chance to take control again. It's allowing us to take that double whammy that we were suffering from and returning them both to their normal levels, to their normal ways of operating. And as well as all of that, good quality sleep also helps reduce inflammation, it supports your hormone regulation, and it restores your resilience. And none of that happens because we think more positively. It happens because we give our biology exactly what it needs. So if you have been feeling more anxious than normal recently, don't ask yourself, what's worrying me? Ask yourself, how well have I actually been sleeping recently? Because sometimes the answer is just hidden in an earlier bedtime. And if you have found any value in this episode, I share new daily wins every single day that may help you too. Simple actions you can apply straight away so that you can stop fighting against your biology in today's world of comfort and start working with your biology instead. So if that sounds like something that you need, hit subscribe. I really would love to see you and help you in my next video.